Welcome to Organizing Elephants, the show with sanity-saving wisdom from smart, busy, accomplished women from Radnor Studio 21. I'm so excited to share with you our guest today, Marianne Lynch. She is the CEO of Habitat for Humanity, Montgomery County and Delaware County. Marianne, thank you so much for joining us today. I've been looking forward to this conversation all week.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Good. Well, we're going to get into a lot of things. You and I have had some fun conversations in the past, and I know we're going to share some good stuff with our listeners and our audience today. Can you start out by just telling the folks what you do at Habitat for Humanity, one of my favorite places in the world?
Sure. So I run Habitat for Humanity of Montgomery and Delaware Counties. We are an organization that helps build homes for people in need. We also do critical home repairs. We do a financial empowerment program, which you are part of.
Yeah.
And we revitalize neighborhoods. We build and rehab about 4 to 6 homes per year. We also provide seniors, elderly, and the disabled with critical home repairs on things like roofs, HVAC, plumbing, situations that make their homes unlivable otherwise. We also do a financial empowerment program, which you are very familiar with.
Yes.
Because Darla teaches financial organizing as part of it. And we just had a graduation of 13 individuals who are now on their journey to financial empowerment, which means they're better at budgeting, they're better at saving, they're better at dealing with debt, and we're pretty excited about these graduates. And finally, we work in neighborhoods holistically to revitalize the space for everyone who lives there. So we focus on things like making sure that the neighborhoods are safe, making sure that there is cohesion in the neighborhood, and we work with community groups who have organized themselves to really empower their neighborhood and make it a stronger and safer and better place to live.
Thank you for sharing all that. That is a mouthful. And I've been working with you, I don't even know, I didn't even count it up how many years now, but I think a lot of people are familiar with Habitat for Humanity in concept or nationally or even worldwide. They may not realize that you're in our backyard. You are literally here right in our counties making a difference.
Right. And actually, we're newer to Delaware County. There used to be a separate organization in Montgomery County and one in Delaware County, but about a year and a half ago, we merged the two organizations so that we could serve people better than we were able to serve them separately. It's pretty exciting that we are able to serve people right here, right around the corner. In fact, we're getting ready to build a couple of homes in Bridgeport, which is not too far away.
So exciting.
And the next project after that is in Lansdowne. So I think, though, what people don't think of is that people in this community need a decent place to live. It is so expensive to live here. It is overwhelmingly expensive for people who make between about 40 and 60% of the median income for these counties. And so what we're doing is providing an affordable way to stay close to family and work and friends in the counties where people grow up. And so we're happy to be able to do this locally as well as globally.
Right. That is one of the things that I love about Habitat in particular, because when I get involved and when I'm working with you and through the years I've gotten to know you and a lot of the staffers, I'm really doing things that impact my community, that impact my neighbors. And that's why I wanted you to come on the show, because we're all in this together.
Right.
And what you have just shared, all of the work that Habitat does, you are the CEO, you are the leader of all of that work going on, and yet you are also, friend, mother, neighbor, all of these things. So tell us a little bit about your family. You have kids at home.
I do. Yep. Okay. I have one child at home right now, but I have 4 boys. Mm-hmm. 3 in college. I have one that is up at SUNY Potsdam. One that is at Alfred State, which is also a SUNY school. One at IUP, and then one at home. My 13-year-old is at home.
That is so funny. I've known you forever, and for some reason I didn't know you actually had 4 kids.
Well, so I always say to people, 2 by marriage and 2 by birth.
Right, right.
My husband and I are in a second marriage, but they're all my boys.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I've had them since they were little, and so proud of the young men that they are becoming. They're amazing individuals. So manage that, manage some friends, I get to have some friends sometimes, and manage our company. And one of the things I always say about our company is it's a lot more complicated than you would think. We are the bank, we are a social services organization, we're a retail store, and we are what am I trying to say? A fundraising organization. So we do a lot with a very little staff. So it's difficult to manage.
I was just in a women's conference yesterday, and they were sharing a lot of the numbers that we've all heard before about women trying to break through the glass ceiling, and women, the percentage of numbers around women being in the C offices, the CEO, the CFO, all of that. And here you are a CEO of a multi-million-dollar corporation and all the other things that you just mentioned.
Yep. Yeah, it's exciting. It's overwhelming. I have learned so much in this job. Oh my gosh, I'm a real estate developer. Never thought that would be on my resume. But no, because we buy and sell properties too. So it's managing a lot of moving parts, but you can't do that without great people around you, great board members, great staff that support you. And it's been a fun journey. I started out as the executive director, but when we merged, they realized because we run so many moving parts of an organization that it really needed to be a C-suite of individuals that was running the company moving forward.
Yeah. And this is something else that I think about a lot. When we think of women in leadership positions, for some reason the young women that I talk to, they all think that you have to be running a tech company to matter, to get to that C-suite. And you're not a tech company. There is tech involved in what you do. But you're really running an organization that is vital to the community in all sorts of other ways beyond tech.
Right. And I think that, you can apply your business practices. Like I said, we do real estate development. We buy and sell real estate. We manage mortgages. So there's a lot of standard business practices and the way that you run a business that apply to a nonprofit. What I always like to say is we don't forget the heart. That's the point of the mission, and what's nice about that is we get to focus on the people who need us most, but to do so in a business way so that we can focus on more of them.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, isn't that great? Just step back a moment, people. Step back from your phones. Step back from the apps. It's really about the people.
It really is. And every business decision we make is about that. If it doesn't impact the people we serve well, we're not doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, my head is spinning. I actually just learned a few things that maybe I didn't know before about you. And I want to come back to Restore, so don't let me forget, because I think in your intro you actually forgot to talk about the Restore. But that's
we have two of them.
Yeah.
And so, they're big.
So one of our favorite things. But I want to spend just a minute on talking about how you keep it all together. I'm the CEO of my organization too, but it's tiny compared to yours. So, we do the same thing, right? We both have to sleep at night.
Right.
We both have to get up in the morning and make sure that people get fed, that pets are cared for, that the husband, has what he needs.
That you don't forget your football uniform. Yes, all of those
just
things
because you're the CEO, you don't get to not do those things.
Right. Exactly.
So, so I know that, we have to do them, but I don't know, a lot of women I talk to feel like they're failing all the time, like there's so much on their plate. And do you feel like that sometimes?
Absolutely. Okay. I think we all feel like that sometimes, but at the same time, I think my sister says it best. She's like, you have to cut yourself some slack. You are your worst critic. Other people see the outside of you and see that you are doing all these amazing things. Where I think we struggle when we're trying to hold it all together is not beating ourselves up over the things we don't get accomplished. Yeah. And so it's kind of shifting that mindset to think about, okay, what did I get done today? Who was I able to impact today? I was able to be a mom today and go watch that football game. Yes, let me check that off my list. So I think it's important to celebrate our small victories rather than beating ourselves up for the things we don't get done.
That is so true. And you've said it so well, but I remember when we were having lunch and I said to you, I actually look up to you and I I use you as a model sometimes. I think, my gosh, Marianne's getting all this done. I can do the things that she does. I can be like Marianne.
Right.
And your face literally fell.
It did, I'm sure, because I don't think that of myself.
Right.
I don't think I have it all together. I don't think I'm getting it all done. And I have so many moments where I feel like, how am I going to get this all done? And so it was a great compliment. So thank you so much for that. But it was also it was a little bit of a reality check that I think we are our worst critics, and we don't remind ourselves that we have to, cut ourselves some slack, that we're only human, that we actually have to sleep at night and wake up the next day refreshed and exercise and do things that are good for ourselves too.
And something else I forgot about just this moment, but we've actually had the same foot surgery. And so sometimes things are going wonderfully all the time and you're hitting on all cylinders and you're helping as many people as you can. And then sometimes you just got to take care of yourself and be healthy.
Right.
Get healthy again,
right.
And I love that you've shared that story with me, because I went through it. Other people will go through it. Maybe somebody watching the TV right now would not normally be watching the TV, but they're laid up for some reason, and they can, just take a break and take a breath and remember that they'll be back at it soon.
Right. Well, and one of the things that somebody said to me along the way that I use often in my own life and at Habitat too is they brought up the analogy of being on a plane. And when you're on a plane, they always talk about the instructions where the oxygen mask drops down.
Oxygen mask.
And they always say, put it on yourself first before you help others, because you only have about 10 seconds before you've passed out and you're not going to be able to help anyone.
Right.
It's a great analogy for life. Put the mask on yourself first. Make sure that you are functioning to your highest capacity so that you can help those around you.
Right, absolutely. So you've got a lot of things going on. You've got the home front, you've got the work front. I'm sure there's other volunteer community activities that aren't related necessarily to your job. Give me some things that you do that maybe you don't even think are special or unique, but things that you do just to keep yourself organized.
Well, the one thing that we were talking about when we had breakfast, this is a dumb little thing, but it makes life so much easier. We only have white socks and black socks in my house, and they're all the same kind. The white socks are all the same kind, the black socks are all the same kind, so that in the morning at 6:30 when we're running for the bus, we are not, I can't find my socks. Mom, do you know where? Nope. Pick a pair of black ones, pick a pair of white ones. They're all the same.
And it's not even a pair.
No.
It's pick two white ones out of the pile.
I don't care. You could even pick a black one and a white one.
Right.
But the point is that make it less complicated, because my 13-year-old has enough on his plate. It's hard for him to remember everything he has to do otherwise. Let's make it a little bit simpler. And I think in terms of my house, it's really just keeping things organized to begin with and not being overwhelmed with stuff. I try to keep things really simple. It's so silly, but there's a place for everything and everything in its place. And I know you love hearing that.
Yes.
But at the same time,
even when there's not, everything isn't in its place, there's still a place for everything.
For everything. That's right. And sometimes they get misplaced, but my label maker is my best friend. So because then it enables my child to do chores. So he knows where to put the sheets. He knows where to put the towels. And other things we don't make a big deal out of. So for instance, we have a spare room. It's actually the laundry room. Okay. Because
wait, you need to say that louder.
It's actually the clean laundry room. And what we do is we fold all the laundry and it's on the spare bed. And if it gets put away, it gets put away. But typically it is on the bed and people know it's clean. They can go grab things from there and wear what's ever there. The fact that the laundry is getting done and folded is a win.
Yeah.
And so we have the extra room, we might as well use it for this purpose. When we have guests, everything gets put away. But when it's just us, it just makes life easier. There's a TV in there, I can fold laundry, watch a little bit of TV while I do that. But I would say my biggest secret weapon is my husband.
Oh, tell me about that.
He is amazing. And he is not one that you have to tell what to do. He just sees that the dishes need to be done. He just sees that a load of laundry needs to go in, and he's a better laundry person than I am. And he's really taught our boys that as well, that you don't just stand around and wait for mom to tell you what to do. You jump in, you help. And I could not be where I am without his constant cheerleading and support, but also just being that partner alongside me and helping me get all this done. He's amazing.
So you didn't actually have to train him?
So maybe it's a function of being in a second marriage.
Yeah,
I
right.
don't know. Maybe he was trained before he got to me, but he is fantastic. No, I've never had to train him. Like I said, he does better laundry than I do. The whites come out whiter. Yeah, it's always done, and it's done quickly. I'm like, how do you do that? But no, he's amazing, and I love that he's instilling that in our boys too. That there's not the idea that mom does everything and they sit back and do nothing. Yeah. They're going to be helpful to their partners because of that.
There's two really important things, nuggets in there. One is expect that your kids are going to help, right?
Yes.
I've been in a lot of households where, let the kids be kids, and they're not encouraged to learn the basic skills, how to sort socks, how to do laundry. So that's important. And I was going to say something else, and I lost my thought there. But but having help at home, knowing that it's not all on mom's shoulders.
Right.
What I was going to say actually is that you've given up control to a certain extent, right?
Yes.
And that's hard for people who are high performing, who are used to being in control. It's hard for me.
Right.
Let me talk about me.
Right.
Not just you.
Right.
But it's hard for us to give up control and say, you know what, my husband does it a different way, my kids do it a different way, but at least it's getting done. And sometimes getting to that point is where you start to break through on the managing it all and being organized all the time. It's actually giving up a little bit of control so that you can be organized through somebody else's methods.
Right. Well, and what it does too is first of all, you have to lower your expectations, because the first time your 11-year-old folds the towels, it's not going to be right.
Not going to be perfect.
Right to my standards.
Yes.
You have to be okay with that.
Yes.
Number one. But number two, you're giving them power by letting them do it. If they feel good about the chores that they're doing, and if they feel like they're contributing to the household, that actually helps increase their self-esteem.
Yes.
And so it's really important that you give them the power of doing the job and doing it completely.
Yes.
So my son wanted to earn some money the other day and also we do allowance, but we do money for extra chores. And he was raking the yard, and it wasn't the way I would do it, but it was getting done. The leaves are gone. It was getting done.
Right.
So, I just went out afterwards. I was like, oh, you might want to get a little pile over there. But for the most part, it was done really well. And so I had to praise him for the job rather than, hey, you missed this spot over here. Right. And he felt pretty good about it. He's like, I raked all the leaves. So so I think it's a really key piece of, empowering my boys to become men. Right. And think about how they're going to be as partners, and think about how they're going to be with their own families as they get older. So,
right. And isn't that what we do with employees too?
Right.
We wouldn't dare say it's not perfect, you're fired.
Right.
We would say, we would help them, we would develop them, we would coach them, we would give them more resources so that they could be better at that same task next time. We wouldn't say, you screwed it up, I'm always going to do it. As a manager, as a CEO, that doesn't work. And
you would be completely overwhelmed all the time.
Right.
And that's probably the biggest lesson I've learned at Habitat, is that I have to delegate. It's too large of an organization. There are too many people for me to do it myself. And it doesn't serve our families best when I hold on to everything. I have to let things go so that more families can be impacted by the work we do. I've had some great mentors along the way who have really pushed me on that, to you have to let go of things, you have to delegate, and I have the philosophy that I'm not going to ask anybody to do anything that I haven't done myself. But at the end of the day, you have to ask other people to help you with tasks, and it gives them a chance to shine too. I had 3 of my staff members did a presentation about safety yesterday, and I just assigned it to them. I didn't watch the safety presentation beforehand, and they did it in front of the whole staff. They did a fantastic job, way better than I would have done by myself. And I was really impressed with all three of them. So if you give them the opportunity to shine, chances are they will.
Yes. And doesn't it feel good? I know every time that happens to me, you stand back and you say, wow, that was better than I could have done or that I would have had time to do. And I need to do this more often. You know, you're really setting up that culture, whether it's at work or at home. You're setting up that culture for somebody then to be assertive and to take the reins and to shine.
Right. Right, exactly.
Yeah,
so it's incredible.
Isn't that funny? Whether we're talking about socks or safety training, right? It's the same. You know, nuggets that we come away with. And you know, one of the things that I hope to do with the show is if a young mother or maybe a struggling mother. I mean, I wasn't young when I started to be a mother. You know, I was in my late 30s before I had my kids. But I'm hoping that somebody who feels overwhelmed hears some of these things, knows that you and I didn't come to the table with all of these learnings that you know, we had to come through some of this the hard way. We had to learn to delegate by not delegating enough times that it hurt. Right.
Exactly. And I think letting go of perfection is a huge part of that too. My house is not perfect by any means. I need a new couch. You know, there's things that I need or that need to be done or we need to fix. But at the end of the day, it's my home and it's comfortable and it's warm and it functions relatively well. And so making sure that I make time for the relationships and for my husband and my children is really important to me. And so you really have to let go of perfection and sweating the small things.
Oh my gosh. That is so important to hear, especially going into the holiday season. I know people, when this airs, we're going to be heading into Thanksgiving and Christmas and all the winter holidays. And I know people are going to have a lot of anxiety about, oh, I can't have people over because I don't have enough chairs at my table for everybody, or I don't have a new couch. And sometimes we just have to let that anxiety go because your house isn't perfect. You've been to my house. It's not perfect either.
It's lovely though. It's really beautiful. But the thing is, it's your home. It doesn't feel like a showpiece so much as it feels comfortable. And I think that's what we want to inspire our guests to be when they're at our homes. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be a showpiece. It just has to make them feel welcome and
I love hearing you say this because it is the added perspective that you have of your home, my home, our friends' homes, but also the homes of the people that you and I are both going to start tearing up here because we've been to these dedication services for people who have not had a home or who are coming out of an apartment situation or a temporary living situation, and for the first time they get chills up my back. They get keys to their first house that they have worked for. They have. I want to say this because I know there are people out here who think Habitats gives houses away.
They do not.
They do not give houses away. These people work like crazy. And they continue to work. They continue to stay involved in Habitat. They continue to stay involved in the new houses. They continue to stay involved in or purchase things from the Restore. They're not going out and getting, high-end materials. A lot of them, they will come back to the Restore to furnish their homes a lot of the time. So tell me about the Restore because we skipped over that.
So the Restore is, it's the Habitat for Humanity Restore, and it is it is the way that we get unrestricted operating funds. So we call it a home improvement thrift store.
Home improvement discount store. I love that.
There you go. We sell used and surplus building materials, furniture, kitchen cabinets, appliances, and housewares at a fraction of their value.
And some of this stuff is new. The kitchen cabinets, I know. I walked in there and I've seen an entire kitchen that somebody has taken out. It was perfect, but not their taste.
I was going to say they didn't like the color or they didn't like the style, and we get those all the time.
And sometimes you get brand new kitchen cabinets that are literally still in the box.
And people can build what they need out of those boxes.
Did you know that I have a new kitchen book out?
I did.
Organizing Your Kitchen with Sort and Succeed. we should make that available to like everybody that buys a kitchen in December or something like that.
We
should do something like
totally.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Restore is a great resource.
And they have some beautiful cabinets right now. So we have 2 locations. So we have one in West Norriton, which isn't too far from here, and then we have another location over on the eastern side of the county in Horsham. Horsham's a little bigger, so there's a few more cabinets to choose from. But also a lot of housewares and a lot of kitchen equipment. So if you're looking for something to help you organize your drawers or your cabinets, check out the Restore, because you never know what you're going to find there. I always think of it like a treasure hunt. It's fantastic to find the interesting things that people part with, and they're always gently used. We don't take things that are past their useful life. And all of the proceeds go back to our programs in Montgomery and Delaware County. And so that's really exciting for us to be able to use that money to further help families throughout the community.
Right. And I know so many people who are interested in, like you said, getting a new sofa, but they don't know what to do with the old sofa.
Right.
And if it's still usable, if it's not ripped or torn or whatever, it can be passed on to the Restore, who then makes money. And I'm giving your spiel here, but
you're doing a good job. Definitely.
This is a problem. It's an organizing show, and we're talking about how to get more organized at home. And people who feel like they're stuck with stuff, and they get into this mental state because they don't want to have it go to a landfill, and so it ends up in their basement again.
Right.
Or they just don't upgrade their stuff, not realizing that there's this other place in our community that really wants their gently used sofa.
And that helps people right in the community with the proceeds from it.
Right.
So I think that that's an important distinction from some of the other thrift models that are out there. We also have 4 trucks on the road 5 days a week picking up items for free.
Right.
So that's a way to really, get rid of the things that you don't want anymore, but someone else might get use out of.
Right.
All you have to do is visit our website at habitatmontdelco.org, and up in the right-hand corner, it says Donate Goods, and it'll walk you through a whole online donation process. It's really easy to set up a pickup and delivery, or pickup of the item.
So we're almost out of time, but I want to make sure when this airs, if we've inspired people with organizing tips, with the idea that you are just this strong, vibrant, amazing woman that I love personally, but also that can inspire them. If they've been moved by anything that we've said about the work that Habitat does, I hope that that they can maybe give you some money. I mean, I'm sure that would be okay too, right?
That would be appreciated. We are only limited by our resources, and especially in Delaware County, we're really being kind of overwhelmed with the number of repair applications we're getting from seniors and disabled and veterans. And so to get more folks in homes to be able to repair those things, especially before it gets really cold, we're expecting snow, that's a concern to us. And so we want to be able to help more of our most vulnerable neighbors. So if you'd like to make a donation to Habitat, again, it's habitatmontdelco.org. It's pretty easy to find. But my call to action is volunteer, get involved. The way to get out of your own head is to help others. And so it feels really good when you do that. And sometimes the things that we feel inadequate about kind of go away when you put it into perspective with the families that we serve.
Yeah. And even, I'm glad you said that, because even my small company, I have employees that work for me, and once a year we have a build day where you host us. My employees, myself, and some clients usually come out, and we spend time building the house, whatever stage it's at. Sometimes it's down to the studs, and sometimes it's a little further along. And we build out the house with you, and we see the families, because the families come, that's how they get their work hours in. And so that's a great experience too. So somebody maybe who's watching and has their own company or wants to partner up with me or other small companies, I know you create these build days all throughout the year.
Right.
And sometimes we have more time than money.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we have more money than time, and whatever makes sense for you, people can find a way to plug in.
And we'll help, put you in the right spot for volunteering. If you can't swing a hammer or don't want to, we have plenty of other opportunities available.
So thank you so much. I hope that you got some inspiration from Marianne today. Thank you for watching us here on Radnor Studio 21, and join us for the next show of Organizing Elephants.